What's good? It's your boy Jen Saku, and I'm here with the TimeForToku podcast. Today I'm here with the wonderful, wonderful group of people. We have my boy Chris. What's good, bro?
What's poppin'? What's poppin'? What's
Got
poppin'?
my boy Blackwing.
What up, what up, what up, people?
We got Deck in the house.
Heyo, it's Deca.
We got my boy Austin.
Look, I've been on here pretty often. I might be moving up to like a main cast member or something. This is kind of nice.
We got my boy Frankie and this bitch.
As for me, I'm not a main cast member, but I plan on to be one soon. But hey, what's up, everyone?
Austin and Frankie, swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. You guys are officially main cast members now.
Oh my god!
Oh my god, I evolved. Wow.
We got
Wait,
10.
guys,
What's good?
wait.
Hello, everyone. It's Tanarka, and I'm back with another episode of the TimeForToku podcast.
We got my boy Will on here. What's good, bro?
What's going on, guys? It's finally good to be a part of the podcast, man. Yo, it's Will, a.k.a. Summer Ninja.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We have Chelsea. How you doing?
I am doing great on this rainy Sunday.
Queen
of the podcast. We also have Awesome. What's good, bro?
Did pretty good.
It's good to hear. Good to hear. And real quick, we got my boy Rocky in here. What's good, bro?
Yo, what's going on, y'all?
What's poppin'? What's poppin'? You know, talking about this goated season. You know how it is.
Yeah, I'm already knowing.
Now let's talk some Dino Fury. So let me start off and ask: are we 5 for 5?
We are definitely 5 for 5.
5 for 5, yeah.
I'm just gonna do this every week, bro, until we're just 20 for 20 at this point. But yeah, one thing. First of all, I want to give a huge shout out to Power Rangers for including, Special Olympians, and including not just, the special needs, but it's also, what's the proper word? Handicap? For like the people in wheelchairs? I think.
Disabled?
Disabled, yes. Disabled people. Because like, when it comes to diversity, Power Rangers really do push race, but it's nice to see them also pushing other things too. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's definitely good to have inclusion in all types of ways. So I definitely want to give a shout out for that. I think that was pretty dope. And she's a real Olympian, so I think that's 2 times amazing. But I didn't even notice, bro. Before we even get into Dino Fury, bro, I never did the whole proper introduction for you guys. So what I want to do real quick for the new cast members, Frankie and Will, I want you to tell us your favorite Power Ranger season, favorite Sentai season, and why. Starting with you, Frankie. Go for it.
Okay, well, my favorite Power Ranger season, to me personally, is RPM. I just really like the storyline, the characters, and the suits, like everything about that season is just awesome to me. My favorite Super Sentai season, I would have to go out to Lupat, to be honest, because it was my first Super Sentai season, as well as just an amazing story overall with the characters, to me at least, I really enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, so I'd have to say on my end, favorite Power Ranger season gotta be Ninja Storm, man. Like, 'cause I mean, obviously, like the start of the Disney era. I just loved like the humor. I love the storyline. I loved like the suits and everything. It was honestly, I think it was a dope season. And favorite Sentai gotta be Maji Ranger. I'm gonna go with 'cause it's also my favorite. It's also my first Sentai, but I just love the storyline. I love the sibling dynamic, and just it was honestly all around a great season. So yeah.
Dope. Man, listen. I seen Ninja in your name, and I was going to say, bro, you better not say Ninja still, bro. You would have got the boot real quick.
No, I'm not going to. Definitely not slander like that. I love myself. Yeah.
As you should, King. As you should. But yeah, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this episode. So starting off with you, Blackwing. What's your initial thoughts on this episode, bro?
I really liked this episode. It was, first of all, the fact that, the new recruits came in already. I think the first focus episode of Ranger Focus. I thought this episode was great. Because I'm pretty sure at the beginning of the show, our first Ranger that got the first ever focus episode was Ollie. So I like how immediately with, we got Javi and Izzy gets a focus episode right after her debut. So I found that really, really great. Also, plus this episode gives some representation to the Special Olympics, to people, shouting out the people who have special needs and everything. That was great. So, I mean, I'm not someone with special needs, but definitely, this episode definitely reaches out to those who are,
Sure.
yeah, who pretty much need, those who are pretty much, not getting their voices heard in the franchise. This episode is definitely dedicated to them. Also, I kind of like this episode with Izzy running track because it takes me back to my days of running track and running cross country. That just took me back. So I really like this episode. And Izzy was fantastic.
Sam.
Yes, she was. Hey, listen, we can appreciate art when we see it. We can appreciate art when we see it.
Sam.
She 18.
I need like a simple arm for the team or something.
Hey, Chris, man, what's your initial thoughts on this episode? Brief thoughts.
Can we all like start clapping? Let's start clapping.
Why are we clapping?
Know why I'm clapping? Because J-Board didn't piss me off!
Oh, yeah!
By the way, I did not use my hands
positively
to clap.
electrifying.
I know, right?
Don't
Like,
you dare.
I'm gonna be real. I laughed at something J-Borg did, but I'm not laughing with her. I'm laughing at her because she was just so cringe. But it was like, you know what? If it's gonna be like, it's so. I don't want to shit on on whoever the fuck thought J-Borg was a good idea, but if it's gonna be like it's so bad, it's kind of funny. Then fuck it. At this point, I'll get used to it. You know what I mean? Because like this, especially that scene, bro, where they hit the car. The car, like the cop car. The cop was like, "Oh no, that's a ticket." That gave me like a little like joke. Like hopefully, like we see that cop and he does something again, because that reminds me of like how in Avatar: The Last Airbender, there's that my cabbages dude, right? And that's like something that could be easily an ongoing gag. Maybe I'm just thinking too out of it, but I was dying because it was like, what the hell's going on? And finally, I genuinely like laughed. That had to do with J-Borg. So, but there was some points in it that was like, but it was like, sometimes I gotta remember this is the best we're getting, and I actually was. But fuck it, we're not here to talk about J-Borg. We're talking about Izzy, and Izzy had an episode like we already said.
Hey, but that Ranger Hotline song went hard though. Just saying.
Oh yeah, bro. But let's be real. I'm gonna be real. I saw that crowd of babies. They all look. They man. All I know is that I'm not letting my kids near them. That's that white people shit. It was all white children, bro.
Where were those kids' parents in the first place?
I was like,
That
no.
was a very good question.
I was like, nope. I'm like, no. But yeah. And then like Blackwing said, and like how Blackwing said, like the great representation for people with disabilities, special needs. You know what I'm saying? Like that hits home, bro. Like that hits home. So like that I love that, and I love how, and I believe she's really like, or someone said that she's really like in the Special Olympics. I need someone like to fact
who the guest star?
She is actually a champion.
Yeah. Hell yeah, bro. That makes it even 10 times better. Man, Battle Fairy's doing a thing, bro, and everything she did in it was just so wholesome. Even when Izzy was yelling at her for no reason, I'm like, yo, chill, right? It was, and then again, because how we were talking about how there's like been an ongoing thing that Power Rangers has been forcing us these moral stories, these lessons down our throats, and this was finally the first time that it felt really natural and it felt like really wholesome. Where she was like, yeah, you're right, I gotta like, because there's a scene that Izzy's been training and she's just so focused on winning that she didn't realize that her coach, which was the Olympian, right? like she was trying to teach her like some things that are more important than winning, like helping each other. And Izzy was in first place. Her arch nemesis, I believe, got hurt, and instead of finishing the race, she saved her. She saved her, and then it was like a little wholesome moment at the end where she got gifted a medal for you know what I mean, like being morally good in that situation, and it was just like a touching moment, and I really enjoyed it. So yeah, this was a banger episode. I'm not gonna lie, although we didn't really see Ollie or Amelia and Zato much, it's just the Garcias, you know what I mean? And I mean, it's whatever. And I still peep how Officer Garcia still hasn't really talked to his son. That's kind of funny as hell. But that's an ongoing thing we got going on, that they hate each other. But yeah, great episode. I'm not gonna lie. They got the Zords. Yeah, fucked with it, bro. What are we? What
But the
are we
real
like?
question is,
What's up?
what do you do if you see a Sporks?
What do I do? I see a Sporks. I started
Call the Ranger hotline.
Nah, you call Candace from Phineas and Ferb and make a song out of it.
If
I
you
wish.
see
I
a
really wish I
Sporks,
memorized that.
That's
song.
the best answer I've heard all day.
Hey,
No,
man,
wait.
Call the
me just
541.
Like
Wait, how the song go? It was like, if you
Tell me
see
what's
a
making me jump like
Sporks.
that. Oh, other one.
I got first in my pants.
SIFP Sports in my pants.
Oh,
Oh my
sporks
God.
pants. I like that. I like that.
Shit.
The real question was, stay calm and call the Ranger hotline. But
Call the 541.
That's too responsible.
all I know is 44457, and I don't know the rest of it.
Nah, they were having some.
That was a long ass song though.
Hey, 200-300 Empire. Said, hey, that's the mood that was giving me.
If you see a scary Sporks or hear a monster Rex, stay calm and call the hotline and everything will be fine. Call 555 172. The Rangers will come and help you.
It's actually not
The
that
way that they
bad.
harmonize,
Yeah.
like they harmonize.
It's not
That was
bad.
not bad
Banger.
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 Hey, that look.
Play that
Okay.
shit
Like
on the
I can
radio.
remember that now.
Look. Okay. Yeah. Now I don't want another musical episode, but if we do, they need to sing because they can definitely harmonize.
Yeah.
All right, but is
Fuck
that
the
better
Chiefs.
than?
You had any doubt in your bone that they weren't going to be in that musical part?
But hey, the real question is that song better than Life is Like a Triceratops?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Yes.
Yes,
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 it is.
Yes.
Shit, that's
Stop, Jay.
Dino,
Stop.
that
Just
better
stop.
than the.
Stop.
That shit's better than that
Stop.
one of
Stop it.
Human.
Stop
Jen,
it. Listen.
stop.
Stop it. Jay, listen. Stop.
What's-
I will commit a crime if you don't stop.
What is that stupid ass one in Beast Morphers about being human?
we don't know
We
because we don't care.
ain't knacking on that one though. We ain't knacking on that one though.
That one was ass, bro.
Trash.
That wasn't
Okay,
even
but
Nate's
it was
voice, bro. That was somebody voicing over him.
That was whatchamacallit. When I was
Steele's
listening to
voice actor.
No, I think that was on whatchamacallit. I think that was Christina Ho's voice because I could tell. I heard her voice
No,
more.
it was Steele.
That was Steele's voice actor.
That was Steele, bro. For
Yeah,
Phil Straight.
Steele was the main one singing that. Steele was the one singing that song. That's his song.
I mean,
Yeah.
but I'm talking about on the back half of the song where it was like closing out with the second chorus. I heard mostly Betty's actress voice.
I don't know. But my boy Devin can sing. They didn't even throw him on there. Disrespect.
Do a duo with Javi.
Shit. But what episode is this? 5? We're on 5?
Yeah, 5 for 5.
5 for 5. $5.
$5
$5 foot long. Every.
Call us Forex.
Call Sporks. Call Sporks.
I already forgot the damn number. What was it? 5550172.
I don't know, but we gotta.
I think that was it. It's like the same,
Okay.
like,
I know I'm calling the
that you know
541.
Shit.
With you, Chelsea, what's your like quick initial thoughts on the episode overall?
It wasn't too bad I would go with half filler, not filler, because she got her Zord and that was an important role in her it was about her and it was about her getting her Zord. But, you know, at the same time, for whatever reason, this season feels like it really sets itself apart from the other seasons we've had the past decade, where almost like it feels like it shouldn't belong to any other season of Power Rangers. Like it's just different somehow. Even the comedy duo, which can sometimes be annoying, this episode still felt purposeful, and it just sets itself apart somehow, and I don't even know how to explain that.
I'm just glad that Jane and Jay Borg did not get on my nerves this time around. Like, they actually, like, it's just weird, bro. My favorite part of the episode was actually, like, Jane and Jay. No, okay, listen, one of my favorite parts. And it's not the, going down the hill reading street names, but it was the song where they had the little kids and then they're, like, singing the Catch a Spork song. And then, like, as soon as they actually meet a Sporix, like, the little kid just, like, picks up the phone and, like, remain calm and called the monster. Well, called the Rangers. So I thought that was, like, fucking hilarious. I'm like, yes, this is what Jane and Jay Borg should be doing. And also, that was a callback to Balk and Skull, where they did their whole, like, dressed up as a monster thing in front of the kids. So I think that was a cool callback and a good scene. So I definitely appreciate that. I would take that miles over what we've been getting in the past from Jen and J Borg. So yeah, props to you guys for that.
Otherwise, initially, yeah, I definitely props for it being a more inclusive episode than Power Rangers already is. I think the next step would be showing that anybody can be a Power Ranger, you know?
Shit, Rocky, since you went here, bro, what's your first initial thoughts on the episode?
All right, so before I begin, let me just state the fact that we're in the Hasbro era of Power Rangers, right? And this is why people say that Dino Fury is the real beginning of the Hasbro era, because Beast Morphers had high expectations from the whole audience for being like one of the greatest seasons, right? But it didn't live up to those expectations, right? But like Dino Fury, Dino Fury has lived up to expectations and proved like it can be like one of the greatest seasons, like in all aspects. So I just wanted to state that right quick. But this episode 5, for one, shout out to Dino Fury for like the representation of people with disabilities. That was amazing. It really shined the light on Izzy this episode. It was really tight how like she got all the like the spotlight and stuff. The Megazord fight was cool. She got her Tiger Claw Zord. Yeah, it was just tight. It was a good episode. 5 out of 5 for sure.
Bro, I do want to say though, oh my god, this season, I will say hands down, probably has the best pacing I've ever seen in a Power Rangers series. Like, and when I say this, I mean like, so you're watching the show, things happen, and then more things happen, and then more things happen, and I feel like they pack a lot into these episodes, and it's only 20 minutes, bro, and it does not feel like a 20-minute episode. They have to like pack a lot in these small episodes, and I do appreciate that, because normally it's just they linger on one thing for a while, and we're just going from one thing to the next, and it's real seamlessly. And another thing, like for example, for this episode, I didn't even know that Izzy was gonna get her Zord this episode. Like all the shit that was going on, I thought it was just gonna be what it is. And then they still managed to fit that Zor plot towards the end, and I'm just like, okay, because like in the beginning episode, we had the talk between like Chance and Kai's actor, Ali. We had wow, I said Chance, Javi and Ali. We had to talk between them where they're like, yeah, our Zors is lost somewhere, and we're gonna need a new device to find it. So I'm thinking, okay, it's gonna be a plot for a later on episode. Nah, we just get to it this episode. Towards the end, they're like, you know what? Boom, we're gonna find the Zord, and we found it, and now she got her Zord, and I'm just like, wow, and it worked too, and it worked with the episode. So I'm definitely appreciating the pace this season around. But awesome. What's your thoughts on this episode?
All right. This episode was honestly pretty solid. it feels like that that everyone is settling into their roles. Like they already started on a great foot, and now they're settling in on these sort of like laid back episodes, but they're also still fun to watch. They stuffed in a lot of things, and where it feels like it should be cluttered, but it isn't. Like it gives an appropriate amount of time. Plus, it doesn't make you feel like you're watching a 20-minute episode, as you said earlier. To the Zords, to the lesson of the day, and showing some of the villain's shenanigans during that episode. It's overall a pretty solid episode, and it does a lot in its time frame.
I agree. So definitely shout out to Sarah Delton, who's the Special Olympics athlete who was in this episode. Her acting was pretty good, I think, and I felt something. You know, where like we got to the part where she gives Izzy her medal, and I'm just like, aw. And like, I don't know, for the acting all around was good this episode. I definitely want to put the spotlight on her because it's just nice to see Special Olympian this episode. I don't think Power Rangers normally do special guests. I could be wrong, but I don't remember the last time like an athlete or a celebrity popped up for like the hell of it.
No, didn't we have one? God, wasn't it in Beast Morphers? Was that something else? I don't even know now.
Wait, what episode are you talking about?
Where they were like racing with or the basketball player or something.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know now.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
I think Samurai.
Ranger is usually like outside of the show itself, so.
I think Samurai did it with like the band, right? Didn't Samurai use like a unknown band for the episode for Antonio and whatever her name was, Mia?
Yeah.
Right?
Maybe.
Wasn't that like a famous like band
Was
that they were performing with? The Fun Everyday Band? I don't know. Anyways, though, we don't normally get, and I also appreciate an actual like police there, because oh my god, that's one thing I said like 2 episodes ago. Please don't let Warden Garcia be the only authority this season, because that makes zero sense. And that's all I needed, bro. You don't even have to show anyone else. You show me a cop, now I know there's others. I'm satisfied. I'm good. Thank you for that. You don't have to do anything else now. So thank you for at least giving him that 2-second cameo that was needed.
And he gave him a ticket to J&J Ward.
Maybe they stopped doing dumb shit. They needed that ticket. That's one thing about Ben and Betty, bro. They kept fucking up and getting no consequence from it. And then like we see Jane and Jay Borg.
They're annoying, but they're like less annoying than Ben and Betty were. Yep. Like Ben and Betty was like, why?
Yeah, I think what helps Jan and Jay Borg is that they're outside doing these shenanigans and traveling, whereas like Beast Morphers, Ben and Betty was like contained in one room doing dumb shit. Whereas like Jane and Jay Borg can actually like explore and get into like real life issues. Kind of like Victor and Monty, how they were like trapped in a school doing dumb shit. And it's like, bro. And yeah, they got into like dumb shit like outside the school, but it was still like on the school property. So, and for the most part, I don't confine comedy into one space. Is kind of like, Whereas like Bulk and Skull adventures were actually like everywhere. Like you can get into some shit at the what am I thinking of? Ernie's Juice Bar, or you can be a cop and then like get into cop things, or you can like turn into a monkey, or you can you get what the point is. They got different things they can do. They're not stuck in the school or stuck at Grid Battle Force. So I definitely appreciate Jane and Jay Borg for not being stuck in Buzz Blast, because that would have been annoying as shit. But I see the comedy improve this episode. Like I said, that was one of my favorite parts of the episode was the Ranger Hotline song, which I will remember and sing it to you guys one day, because that shit is a banger. But let's talk about Izzy. Let's talk about Izzy. So, one thing I want to say though, her acting, oh my god, is like, is she alright? Is it just me, or I feel like so far she's the best actor out of like the other five or the other four?
She's got the most empathy in her voice, you know, like you. And she's very snarky. I feel like she's just naturally got that snark down.
Yeah. Yeah, if I remember
Like,
correctly, she usually speaks with an accent, her actress, and she's doing American accent, which goes to show how talented she is, able to show this a range of emotion through the sound of her voice, while also not bringing out her accent.
mhm. Like she just feels like the most real character. Like she has real emotions, real reactions, and it's like for example, like listen, I love Russell Curry, but Zato does not feel like a real person. Like
She doesn't have a
he does
full
not feel
spectrum
like a real
yet.
character. Like him interacting with Izzy, like when Izzy was first introduced, you kind of feel like they're in two different shows. Because Izzy just, I don't know, she just feels more natural. Like, and then her lashing out on her cousin is like, yeah, her cousin has a disability, but at the end of the day, that is her cousin. So like, she's going to talk to her cousin like she
You
treats
would
everyone else, like a real person. Like she's
Yeah.
not gonna like sugarcoat it because she has a disability. She's gonna treat her like she treat everyone else. So that felt real. Like I feel like normally Power Ranger seasons, she wouldn't even get mad at her cousin. I don't think that would just like found a way for her to like be nice about it. And it's just another thing that this season does different is it just feels more real. And yeah, and I really appreciate her acting, especially the scene where it's like, what is it? She was like waiting a race, and then like the girl in the wheelchair comes up to her and like explains the story to her, and then you just see her face change. Like you're like, damn.
She felt really bad what she did. Like
Yeah,
yelling at her
she
and
felt real
thought
bad.
she was making it up. Well, not making it up. She thought she was hanging out with like a normal girl who didn't have her leg broken. And then she saw like what was really happening, like why it did took so long for her
Even though
cousin to.
I don't know why her cousin didn't just tell her that she was helping a handicapped person, well, a
She didn't
disability
really get
person.
a chance, you know. It was like,
Yeah, didn't give her a chance. She went at her.
Well, she said we went shopping, and I'm like, that's not what you're supposed to say. Cause like they weren't even going shopping or like getting groceries, and she was helping her like get some off the top shelves and shit. Like just say that, bro. Like that could have solved so much. And then like yeah, I don't know. I just felt like it could have been, but we needed it for the plot, so I would accept it. But yeah, I definitely like the emotion, and then the music. The music hits once again this episode.
Shout
Like
out to my man Bert.
yeah, he's killing it, man. I keep keep doing what you're doing, bro. But yeah, definitely that remote emotion scene reminded me of like back to the first episode where Zato found out that he's been asleep for 65 million years, and you just see like his face change, his mood change, and it's like real acting, which I appreciate. So definitely, I'll say so far, Izzy's probably my favorite actor. And no, I'm not being biased, but I will say she's my favorite actor. And I think this episode was her best acting so far. Even though it's only the second episode we've seen her, but it's fine. But am I the only one who noticed that like Javi's dad didn't even like look at him?
okay, no. See, that was my whole point of this. And the last time they had an interaction, they have zero interaction. And in fact, when Javi's dad was saying something to Izzy about the winning or whatever, I don't even remember what it was, but Javi gave him like this look. Like he did a fake laugh, but gave this look afterwards. Like he's like, I can't believe this is his moral stance on all of that, you know?
Even
And
like
I'm,
towards the end of the episode where Javi cracks a joke, like, what am I, invisible? His dad
yeah.
didn't even like look at him. He looked at Izzy and laughed. I'm like, what?
I think that's going to be a real point that he is invisible to his dad because he's not the sporty winning type. He's, into art, basically.
This is a classic TV Bible son rivalry thing. Sports
Right, and this is his
dad versus
biological
uh,
child
yeah.
that he's just straight up like, nah. He's like, I got this other one out of a good marriage, so. Ha.
Literally, Javi's focus episode is his dad taking his guitar. Like, bruh. This
Oh. After he
like,
finally managed to afford
I'm
it.
forgetting trying to get guitar. You don't really see artists try to get that type of instrument.
Like he
He's
spends episode 4 saving up for it, and he finally gets it, and it gets taken away. Like, what is this, bro? And also, is Javi also a kid? Because
huh?
why are your dad taking your instrument?
I
Like,
mean, I don't, he could be like 18, and your parents still technically have control over you.
Yeah. Like you're not gonna
yeah,
move out for a little while, so you're still living in our house.
man. Listen, the way these monsters showing up, rent should be dropping. Get yourself an apartment, man. This is probably no. I never really thought about that real world wise. Like, how cheap do you think it is to live in these cities where aliens exist?
They
I'll
should
be
probably
the
have really cheap, because who the hell wants to live there? On
Exactly. You probably can find like a
assuming it's a small
$300
town,
apartment.
it would be relatively cheap to live there, like an apartment complex or whatever.
That's really interesting. And how good are their houses? Like, I feel like you should like, because I don't think the amount of buildings that blow up and shit, I feel like you should really invest into like building a steady home. You know what I mean? Like how Texas wasn't prepared for like all the snow, so their houses was falling apart. And New York
I
houses
could have
are
laughed
stronger
for
because we
that.
prepare for it. I feel like they should do something like that, like monster-proof houses. Maybe make all your houses out of metal this time. I don't know.
Plot twist.
Something.
Plot twist. Their city is not in California this time.
it's
I
called
mean,
Pine.
is it?
It has to be.
I feel like Pine Ridge is California. I think every city is California.
Yeah, that's
Every city is California. Even whatever it was, the island is still California.
Why is
yeah.
like?
I think Oregon. I don't know why, but Pine Ridge sounds like it's something you hear in Oregon.
But if all these cities are like, let's say, an hour or 30 minutes away from each other, why? Why is a monsters only affecting like the one city? It's like if it's not your 30-minute away city, you're fine. Like no need to panic. We'll have to deal with it a year or two when they come to my city or something. Power Ranger universes are so weird.
Well, like, why don't they ever go back to a city too? Like, maybe it's my turn to conquer Reefside.
Yeah, like let me go back to Angel Grove since anyone defending it is old as shit now. Well, probably not Angel Grove because OP Tommy is still there. I wouldn't blame him, but I don't know. Maybe fucking what else we had after Angel Grove?
What were the
Mariner
cities
Bay.
that like the rescue took place in? I forgot. Bay something.
Mariner Bay.
Mariner Bay.
I literally just said that.
The corner of Mariner Bay and Reefside.
Oh my god. Well, maybe I'll run into Jason's dad on the way. Yo, alright, this is off topic, but why does Jason's dad only role in the movie was to be disappointed? Like, that was his only role. Let me just be mad about everything. Oh my god. But yeah, does anybody else want to add anything contributing to this episode?
The fight scenes are still pretty on point. I know it was a lot
Yes.
about Izzy and the focus, but Javi did this whole, like, you ever see, we posted it in the chat a lot, the scenes of Bucky and his knife flip during the Winter Soldier fight. Like, Javi did that whole thing. And I was like, what the?
I don't want to ruin it for you, but that was like the only Sentai footage they used.
That's okay, because I don't watch Sentai.
It didn't even, alright. And I had a problem with it, right? Because like, basically, like,
Sentai fans said they didn't
literally,
even know they used Sentai footage.
I noticed, bro, because they did a filter, bro. Like, whenever they jump to Sentai, it's like this weird filter. Like, I didn't see it. Like, we only use Sentai for, like, Zora fights until, like, episode 3, where, like, Zato used his stink bomb. That was Sentai footage. So, like, that whole scene was, like, a weird, like, cloudy sky filter. But, like, when it came to this episode, they did it again. And it's like, some of the scenes was original, I can tell. But literally, they used 2 scenes from the Sentai. And that was Izzy and Zato getting their power up. And it was Javi, saving them because in the episode, Toa and Cole had like their argument. Like the whole episode was Koa and Cole, who are the Green, Red Rangers, had like an argument. They were doing like a competition thing, and they were just like nagging each other on. And they got distracted and got knocked into the water, so Bamba had to come save them. Where in this episode, they weren't distracted; they just got knocked in the water. I guess,
Well,
and
they were
then
a little distracted.
Javi comes with his super unique skills. I don't know. It didn't fit the footage. For me, it didn't. But that's maybe because I've seen Ryu Soldier. I don't know. But for me, it didn't like kind of fit the footage. But for other people, they barely noticed. So maybe that's what I get for watching the
Can we
Sentai.
shout out the fact that a lot of these monsters have like a little bit of personality to them in Dino Fury so far?
Well, that was funny. They did get distracted because he was like, I have kids. And they were like, this guy has kids? You know, Zeto's whole role again in the episode was to ask some dumbass question.
Yeah,
Like,
maybe I guess it makes sense
That it's
because
monster to say maybe if I find the right trouser or whatever the fuck.
you said trout, the route trout.
House.
So it's a fish joke.
I did thought it was hilarious though how like he's shooting water and the water turns to like bullets, I guess, because like it was still sparking off their suits. But then when he like blasts Jane and Jane Borg, it's just regular water. Like, do you choose when it's deadly and when it's not deadly?
I guess.
But yeah,
Yes,
I guess it was pretty good then. Because if you guys didn't notice, then that's props then. Because maybe I only noticed because I've actually like seen the show, but I definitely noticed Heavy. So yeah, but yeah, that's good then. Then never mind what I said. Good transition. But yeah, I do definitely love the original footage we're getting. It's clean. Oh, Izzy's Instamorph was on point. I loved it.
Well, that's the more we had ever in the last decade.
Like she just like straight up ran and did like I don't know what the fuck she did. She did like a sidekick, I guess, and then like a flip. I don't know what the fuck that shit was. It was a good ass scene though. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I do think though it would be nice to see a solo morph from her hobby because I feel like normally when Rangers get introduced, they have like a solo morph. Because I think Javi and Izzy's first morph last episode was like, well, this episode was like still the group morph kind of, where like everyone has their own square. But come on, we be out here clipping scenes and making our own fan morphs and compilation videos. So give us what we want.
Yeah, considering the fact that a little bit of Javi's morph got clipped over by Zeto's morph, and like, cause Zeto's in the middle of the box.
Same, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like, and Izzy had a dope morph, bro. Like, she like punches the ground with like two hands, and
Yeah,
like I didn't notice it the first time around because like
it's so
we're looking
small.
at all of them.
Even no matter what's on your TV, it's still in the corner. You barely notice it if you don't pay attention.
Exactly. Like, I mean, I know we're gonna get it eventually. Like, it's gonna come, but it would have just been nice for the first time.
But in the finale, we're gonna see them single morphs.
But yeah, overall though, great acting all around. I give it. Alright, so what I do is rank all the episodes. So episode 2, I think, is still my favorite episode. And I would still put episode 1 underneath 2. And then I would give episode 4 or 5. I guess, yeah, this is my third favorite episode then. Yeah, so I guess, well, I mean, episode 1 and 2 are so amazing, so it's an honor to even be underneath those two. So I definitely, I like this episode better than 4 and 3, in my opinion. So yeah, third best episode in my opinion. So yeah, 5 for 5 for me.
You didn't like their debut episode better?
No, I think this is better than 4 for me. Like, I love their debut episode, and then like, bro, hands down, that was probably my favorite action this season from episode 4, where like Izzy does like that dope shit with her like, what's her?
Javelin and a sword.
Yeah, she had the javelin and the sword. She like spinning it and threw it at the tree. I thought that was dope. And then Javi with the 2 swords. That was fire. But the only thing that really brought episode 4 down for me was the Jane and Jay board. So like in this episode, I actually like Jane and Jay board, and I love the rest of the episode, so I kind of have to put this above it. But episode 4 was still good. I still like 4 better than 3, hands down. 3 is probably the worst episode for me, but still great episode. So yeah, 5 for 5 for me. Good job, Dino Fury. Good job, Simon Bennett, and all the writers. I'm sorry I don't know your name, but love the music too. The music is. If the music stays like this, it might be like my favorite soundtrack.
Hopefully we get a soundtrack. Then again, Bert always posts his music on his website, so we probably will at some point.
Well, the soundtrack's on YouTube. It's just fan people putting it on there.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
what people are doing is
People ripping
they,
them. Okay.
yeah,
But don't
they
worry. Show is
take off
over.
the
Bert will definitely
dialogue.
put it on his website. He always does that for his show. Like, go to his website, you find all of his work. Even the music used in Lab Rats.
So yeah,
I'm gonna pass it on to Deca. What do you think, Deca?
I think this was a pretty good episode. I like how it had a good moral. I like how it had a good moral. It it set up that moral organically and it paid off organically. I like that they had special needs representation. Although something was off, and I've been building this up throughout this entire call. The number to call the Rangers was not 541.
What was it?
I get it, because it's a Ron Washman song from Mighty Morphin called 541. It took a while.
I got it. I immediately got that.
Oh God, what is wrong?
Call the 541.
Yeah, this was great character development for Izzy, because and I don't know if it's the right word to use, but I think it was a humbling experience for her.
This episode was so like it was
very wholesome.
Wholesome as fuck, bro.
Facts.
What about you, Frankie? What'd you think of the episode?
Oh, I loved it. I loved it a lot. Like, you guys covered everything as far as, like, the story goes. Like, I just love the representation. I loved Izzy. I loved all the characters being supportive towards her and, not, like, letting her continue the race even though there was, like, a giant Sporix, like, on the loose. Like, that is that kind of, like, teamwork that we like to see, because not everything needs to have all 5 Rangers, at least not immediately. Like, it's possible to take care of a monster and hold them off for now while another person is, actually doing something in their life. And speaking of, like, fights, I really like how they incorporated the Ryu Soldier footage, in the fight scene today. Like, in the Ryu Soldier story, spoilers, I guess, the Green and Red Ranger were, like, kind of having, like a duel, like a duel, like, trying to see if they could do something better, to find, like, the Green Zord. However, in today's episode, like, I noticed they were using Ryu Soldier footage, but they did it so well to the point where, like, you wouldn't even think that. Like, they did it so naturally. It's a little small thing, but I really like that part.
Cool, yo.
Fuck,
Please
I
don't
was gonna say
ever
that.
Don't ever
Yo,
say that
I can't.
again.
I will constantly say it, just to spite you.
No, I'm gonna be the one that says it.
Damn, yo. Alright, but I'm gonna pass it on to my boy, Will. What you think, Will?
Well.
Oh, my bad. I was muted. My bad, guys. No, what I was gonna say, like, I thought, I think the episode was really good. The morals were there. Just like everybody was saying, like, I think, what's it called? I think that it was a great, I think it was just a great way to, incorporate the special needs community in Power Rangers. I don't know if they've ever done that before. Have they done that before in a previous series?
Never. I mean, they done one for deaf
In terms
people.
of special needs specifically, not necessarily, but they have had focus episodes with people that had disabilities.
And
okay.
most of the time, those people didn't even have it in real life.
So then this is, like, even more organic. It just did again. Yeah, they're doing such a good job this time around. I think that I really think that this episode was great. It was great character development for Izzy. I posted this in the group chat. I don't know if everybody saw it, but there's this one scene from the episode of I think it was like a Christmas episode of SpongeBob where, like, Squidward had been talking a bunch of shit about Christmas, like, the whole time, and when everybody didn't get presents, he was laughing at people. But then SpongeBob made him a present, and, like, Squidward is just like, I feel like such a, and it shows, like, a picture of a donkey and stuff over him and stuff like that. Exactly.
I know what you mean.
Oh,
It's
that
Oh,
bro, like,
yeah,
yo,
that.
takes people everybody's Christmas present, and he takes a picture of SpongeBob by the trees, like, say, Santa Claus,
that's exactly.
Santa Claus.
It was exactly like that. Like, I don't know, it was funny, but I honestly think that they did a great job with this episode. Again, like Dino Fury is like, it's to me like having not seen Power Rangers in a minute, like it is a really enjoyable season, and I like seeing what they're doing with this.
Listen, you ain't missed shit. You ain't
Good, because I mean, looking at some of these, like honestly, looking at what Dino like was it what Ninja Steel, like I'm way good on that.
So, can we clap again for Simon, for my boy Simon, turning it around?
Clap it up for
on
Simon
Power
Bennett.
Rangers? So,
Simon is great.
We
I'm
love
gonna pass
Pookie.
And
pass it
everyone
off
that
to
everyone that works with Simon is amazing too.
Oh hell yeah, bro! Everyone is being so vocal. It's beautiful.
Let's get a clap for the whole team, the whole crew.
Honestly.
Power Rangers, bro. They, like behind the scenes and the fans, bro. It has never felt so connected, bro. Everyone's so excited every weekend, bro. It's a great experience. I'm loving it.
It's honestly, it's at
What
the
a time
point
to
now
be a
where
Ranger
even
fan.
now, while it's not like while this isn't the first time it's happened, it's even at the point now where even people in Japan are praising Dino Fury right
Yeah,
now.
that's what I'm saying. Like people are like, and it's not like people are like kind of forced to be genuinely like, I mean, forced genuinely doesn't make sense, but it's not like everyone's forced to like love it just because it's something good for once. This is just something that's really good, and it's not like we were getting. It's not like how Beast Morphers was, where we had like the worst season of all time, and we're like, oh, finally something that's not trash, where everyone's like praising it for not being trash. But I'm like, come on, y'all, like we know Beast Morphers can still be better too. And then look, fuck, we got Dino Fury, and they're knocking it out the park. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's good that everything feels like genuine and everybody like is on the same page. Well, mostly like the people who aren't on the same page are most likely the people who complain about a fucking skirt. So we don't claim those people. but although like yeah, this shit's fucking great, bro. I'm gonna pass it off to Tanera Kun. What do you think, Tanera?
About episode 5, it was just another great episode, which is honestly a little bit surprising considering these are straight 5 episodes that I've all liked, that like the majority of the fandom has liked in a row. I think that's something that we haven't really experienced in the last decade, so it's a bit surprising, but like, it's not unwelcome. It's very much a nice thing to have.
Is somebody playing a video game in the background while we're recording?
Who is that?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
I don't know who that is.
I don't know. But like, it's hard to collect my thoughts about this episode just because it surprised me so much.
That's a good thing, right?
Fuck off, Esther.
Yeah, definitely.
Just, it's so weird. It's so weird to me to like genuinely enjoy a Power Ranger season that isn't something older. Cause like, I liked Dino Charge. I could watch Dino Charge again. It's just, I don't think I genuinely enjoyed all of it. And so far, I'm genuinely enjoying all of Dino Fury. I could watch these episodes again if I really wanted to.
See, the thing with Dino Charge was, I remember when Dino Charge first aired, it felt different. It felt fresh. That's what Dino Fury is giving me. It's giving me that fresh feeling that Dino Charge gave me, because if you guys don't know, I said this to myself after Super Mega Force. I was about to say, I think I'm done watching Power Rangers at this point. I give up. But then, of course, Dino Charge came in and just pulled me back in. I'm like, you know what? I'll stick around.
And then Ninja Steel came in and nearly made me quit the franchise again. But
I was about to say just that.
I mean, Ninja
it's
Steel.
like literally Neil Saban is just, oh, I'm kind of enjoying Power Rangers again. Oh, now I'm not. I think I'm gonna quit. And then the next season shows up and it's like, oh, wait, this is good again. Why didn't they do this last season? And it's just this back and forth that Rangers hasn't really done ever. Because, like, if we think about it, objectively, all the Power Ranger seasons up to Neo Saban were either just average to pretty good.
Yep.
Like, we've never really had a truly bad season of Power Rangers until I think, like, some people shit on Samurai a lot. I think Samurai was just okay. It was probably mediocre. Probably Samurai was like the first really mediocre season of Power Rangers that we've ever had. And then Megaforce came put it into the trash tier.
Yeah.
So the fact that Dino Fury has just been...
Sorry.
I'm sorry, but the fact that this Dino Fury has just been so good so far, it's giving me hope again. I'm still a bit cautiously optimistic because I remember liking Dino Charge at the beginning too. I remember liking the first season of Dino Charge, but like the fact that I'm still really enjoying Power Rangers to this day, after things like Ninja Steel and Megaforce and all those other like horrendous Neo Saban seasons, like it's nice that the Hasbro era is really starting out nice like this.
Like, you could see, like, the care and attention they put in each episode. Like, as a fan, you see, like, the actors take their time with their lines. You could see the delivery that they put in it. You could see the effort that, you know, the choreographers put into their fight scenes. Like, they really are taking their time with the season and making sure that it really sticks to all audiences. Like, they have always had, like, you know, older fans and younger fans, but mainly younger fans in mind for, you know, throughout the New Saban era, but now, like, this is starting to really feel inclusive to more than just, you know, people under the age of 11. You know, like, this is really, like, starting to feel like a great series. And this is only episode 5, you know? Like, I can't wait to see when we get into, like, deeper plots, you know? Like, we finally have the full team. I want to see, like, the more villains get debuted. I want to see Showtime! Like, I want to see that. I want to see Wiseau. You know, I want to see him. Like, I can't wait
I
for
cannot wait for him to crack up.
I want to touch a bit onto that. I want to touch a bit onto that inclusive part. This show, Dino Fury itself, feels like such a step up compared to anything that's been done before it. And I know that's saying a bit more. I think that's saying a bit much because we had seasons like Time Force that really stepped up the game for Power Rangers and what it could do. And what it could do storytelling wise. And while Dino Fury is not nearly as tight plot wise as Time Force still, well, actually no, because Time Force still took a bit of time to actually like get itself going. So, like, what I'm trying to say is it feels more inclusive in the fact that, like what Frankie said, it feels like it's actually addressing the adult audience in a way with its, I guess its quality of acting. Power Rangers has some not so great actors, but it also has some great actors. So it's like the fact that all 5 Rangers this time are kind of acted pretty perfectly, to be honest. Like, I couldn't, like, once I watched this show and now I know these characters, I don't think I could envision anyone else in their roles.
Not at all, honestly.
Like, I can't imagine...
Especially because of the fact that the cast themselves, they look like they have very great chemistry together. Like, they're almost always having so much fun on set, whether they're working or not.
Exactly. So it's like that closeness that, like... I feel like we could ease up on the closeness just for now because it is the beginning of the team. They don't quite know each other that well, but I like that it feels like they're an actual team. That's what I liked about it. And then, of course, in terms of inclusivity,
you got it.
We do have our first, like, special needs character, which is great. It's not just some kid character or some one-off character. It's, like, someone actually important to have represented, and I felt like it was great. You know, that champion, did well acting-wise. I felt like all her lines were delivered well. She did a great job for her episode.
A really good job.
Mm-hmm. I enjoyed her. I enjoyed watching her. And like Chris said, this is the first episode where J-Borg like fully got me on their fence. J-Borg and Jane
I
fully got me
don't
on
know.
their fence.
Yeah,
Especially
they
with that
weren't that
song, like they kind
irritating
of
this
snapped.
time.
I don't know. Yeah, I
Like,
don't know if I agree with that though.
like it was hard for me to defend them before. I felt like episode 4 was okay. I put my thoughts in those episodes. This time, I felt like the segment was timed perfectly. It had just the right length of comedy, and it kind of expanded the town a bit more. Cause like, I don't think we've ever seen a Ranger town really been this proactive when it comes to alerting the Rangers to monsters. Because, like, usually it's just about, like, I don't think we've ever seen a town actually living with the threat of monster attacks. Because usually everyone's just
Yeah,
living
Right.
life as
and
normal.
having to deal with it and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and having to,
Yeah,
like, prep people and teach kids and stuff, like, this can happen. Let's teach them. Let's tell everyone how they can deal with this once it happens.
Right.
This is
Usually
like
what
the
happens... Go on.
No, because like usually during a Power Ranger season, everyone's living their lives as normal, as if these monster attacks are just a weird thing of the week. Like they're
Which
not
honestly,
under constant threat of destruction.
which honestly, in a way, is kind of sad. Like you're so used to like all these tragic attacks that you just go on about your normal day. Like we do, like I wouldn't want to make it seem like someone's so badly affected by this that it's so normal and stuff. But I do like seeing someone having to learn how to adjust to what they're doing, and not in a way where it's like being so troubling for them, but more in a way like where they're more aware. They know who to contact, who to call, and how to have someone else, ergo the Power Rangers, handle a situation like this.
Yeah, like, and I think Sentai does this too, where like people are just living their lives as normal, then all of a sudden a monster attack happens, and then the episode like ends the Sentai defeat a monster or whatever, and then they just live on as normal. I'm like, you just suffered a giant monster attack. You're not gonna like talk about it at all. And I'm glad that Dino Fury is actually addressing this in their world, especially with something like Buzz Blast, which is a huge media company. I'm glad that like they have that attention to detail, whereas Buzz Blast is like actually using their media resources and like they're using their media resources to alert people and tell people how to get out of these situations.
It's great. It's awesome.
It's that nice attention to detail in the season that I love, and that's not even to mention how I think we've already said enough about Izzy, but I thought she was amazing this episode. What the fuck can I say that y'all haven't said?
She went
Izzy
out
was
and
There is
she
one
went out
thing.
to find her
Oh,
Zord
because
on her
Izzy?
own.
That's more of a result of her actually listening to, I guess, the lesson of the day, is that she's rewarded with, telling Zato about this plan that her Zord was about to be destroyed.
There actually is one thing about Izzy that we haven't talked about in the episode, but it kind of got my attention when someone else brought it up. I think it was Deca that said that this was like a humbling episode for her. So this kind of like tangles up to what me and Chelsea talked about when we first met the siblings. It's like I kind of like how it showed that she does have like this, I guess, strict attitude towards how much she wants to focus on running in this race and wanting to win, because you could tell how like determined Izzy can be for like anything that she's involved in, and you can definitely tell that her influence specifically on this race was her dad, and how much her dad wants her to be like successful and the best at playing sports and stuff. And honestly, like just seeing something small like that makes me want to like learn more about that relationship with their dad, and just seeing how Izzy's relationship with him might possibly be like opposite of what could be like a somewhat complicated relationship between him and his biological son. And it just gives me a little more like one more thought to think about on like the curiosity of that entire relationship. It really irks me. Not irks me, but like it really like hits my nerves of curiosity. And honestly, like since I'm talking right now, I do kind of want to like give my thoughts on the episode. It's pretty much like what y'all have been saying. It's a really good episode. It is very wholesome. I love how humbling Izzy was ready to become as soon as she heard something that she figured she needed to hear. And I definitely want to touch up on her cousin, like the focus that they had on her cousin. I forgot her name on already, unfortunately, but well, for her specifically, I really liked like the energy and like I guess like cockiness and confidence that she kind of had and brought to the table. You could tell that she kind of got that from Izzy because of how often they hang out together, and I just love seeing their relationship for supporting each other as well. The representation for that was fantastic. Of course, it's been a long time since we saw a representation like that on Power Rangers, and this is kind of what's been on my mind since y'all kept bringing it up. It's been on my mind for like 20 minutes. In terms of like showing representation in Power Rangers for like side characters that have disabilities, that's like a sort of, I guess, like an unspoken strength that Power Rangers used to have like back in its heyday, because one of the first few episodes that we saw was one of Kimberly's friends that she was teaching dance to, like someone that was deaf and spoke her sign language. You saw like how well she was handled in that episode. She wasn't just someone that like couldn't help herself or always needed help. She was able to do what she needed to do whenever she needed it, even though she had trouble communicating sometimes with people that didn't know sign language. It was really nice to see her like just stand her own 2 feet and do stuff, especially when her friend got captured and she needed to go get help from someone that she thought she knew could fight and stuff, which just happened to be a Power Ranger. And the other person that I'm thinking of was from Power Ranger Zeo. It was
A blind
her name.
lady.
Oh
I think her
yeah,
name
the
was
blind.
Penny.
I forgot about that episode. Wow.
Yeah, I
And
think
that's
her name
actually
was
one of my
Penny.
favorite Rocky episodes.
Yeah, and like what I find really interesting about that is that not only was it a good Rocky episode, since he didn't get enough of that, it was also like what I really found interesting about it is that was a love interest for Rocky. Not like a permanent one, of course, but that was one of the girls that Rocky came across that they had like dating level type of chemistry with. And she was also someone that could hold her own, and much more than the previous girl in the Mighty Morphin episode 2. She was someone that was very good at martial arts, and even though she was blind, her other senses were heightened very well. Now, not to the point where she knew Rocky was the Blue Ranger, but you could tell she could definitely handle herself. And just seeing Power Rangers show people with disabilities like that and not showing them as people that can't help themselves, it's something that we haven't seen in years. But as of now, like there is a 100% success rate with like showing people with disabilities and showing them off well. And that's kind of an unspoken strength that Power Rangers has had that hasn't been talked about in a while, honestly.
That was really good, and you brought up a lot of
Okay,
good
now
points.
I can breathe.
You just gave a whole speech. And that was great.
Thank you.
Nah, man,
Can we give
you
a round
really
of
did, bro.
applause?
Good job, mate. Good job, bro.
Ooh, where the hell is this
I'm gonna
water?
use this brief round of applause to dip out. So I got to dip, but I'm gonna be on for the next one.
Facts, bro. Facts. I got you.
All right, can we give a round of applause because Jinsaku's actually paying attention?
My bad. I ain't know where to hop in. As soon as my phone died, I'm like, oh damn, I don't want to interrupt nobody and shit. I'll just let y'all do y'all.
Chris took over the
shit.
role of hosting, and he did a great job of it.
Shit, but Will just left. Well, I'm gonna back you up on something I think Austin said, talking about how the relationship between Izzy and her dad is very interesting because, as you could tell, like somewhat the motivation and like just having in the back of her head 24/7 to make her dad proud because he's kind of like obsessed with winning because he like because it's like it's giving me like Troy Bolton vibes or how his dad is always like you gotta win, you gotta blah blah blah, you know what I'm saying, and then
Ooh.
and Troy's like I don't want to win all the time, you know what I'm saying, like
Oh, you know
you
what?
know
That's almost hitting it like you're almost hitting it like that's like on the nail with that comparison to Troy Bolton because he doesn't like he's not really supportive of Javi with his music and stuff. He's more he prefers like focusing on sports and stuff. And yeah, that's
shit.
that's pretty similar.
That's probably why he doesn't get along with his son, and that's why he focuses on
Yep.
his adopted kid. You know what I'm saying? And because she's a freaking superstar on the cross country team.
I
So
cannot
it's like,
relate.
but
She
yeah, you
sure
know
is, cause she definitely is. I could relate. Cause I ran track.
goat. But
yeah, like
yeah, it's
like
gonna be interesting as fuck.
yeah, like I said, like for all we know, this could be like this might not be as much as like we're anticipating or speculating or anything, but it's nice to like see that there's something there that's it's nice to see that there's another puzzle piece there instead of just assuming that it's it's just a one big happy perfect
Mhm.
family like
And it
almost
makes
every
it
other
even
family in Power
crazy.
Rangers.
It makes it even more crazy than it is because how she was so scared to let him down, right? But right after he finds out what she did, he's like, "Nah, I'm not mad. I'm not mad." And she's like, "You're not?" You know what I'm saying? But like that,
Yeah.
then again, he forgave her really quickly. But it's like, but like Javi and you, like I understand it's because she did a good thing. But it's like if you're so quick to forgive her, and then on top of that, you got to remember even after they won, the officer, not officer, is it officer? Is his name Officer Garcia or Warden Garcia?
Like
Warden
Warden
Garcia.
Garcia.
Warden
But
Garcia.
Warden Garcia, at the end of the day,
Warden Garcia.
he still tries to make the moral of it. Don't worry, next time we can win. You know what I'm saying? Like he's like, what's the point of playing if you can't win? Some shit like that. But then like, at the end of the day, he's still focused on winning. But it's like,
Yes, Sensei.
yeah, but it's weird. It's kind of weird, but it's like it might play into something with Javi because it's like because as you could see, Izzy was like scared and kind of surprised that he forgave her, and it's probably because how she sees her relation. I mean, not her. His relationship with his biological son, because it's like you don't forgive him for wanting to do his passion, but because I'm following your passion, you're so easy to forgive me. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of interesting. So
And for all
yeah.
we know, even though like we're talking about this a lot and how much conflict there could be, it does seem a little not too similar, but a little similar to the situation with Ravi and Commander Shaw. Now that I think about it, because they're both parents, they're both single parents specifically that have strong higher up like authoritative jobs, and uh they both have sons that have really good talents in regards to fine arts, but because of the fact that they're not supportive with it, they have to they have to sort of be a little distant and hide the fact that they're like having fun with what they do. Now, the main difference that I kind of see is that while they're both vocal about it, I feel like it's more problematic for Javi than Ravi. Oh my god, their names rhyme. I just realized that.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
that's right.
anyways, anyways, it seems like it's more problematic for Javi because you can see that there's this, I guess, crack in their relationship. While the relationship between Ravi and Commander Shaw, it was, even though she still had a problem with the fine art with art and stuff, she was still you could tell she was still open to being okay with it because they had all that old stuff in like their storage and stuff. Plus, they at least still had a bond together with something else, and that being like working together at Grid Battle Force. But in terms of Javi and I almost called him the Reverend and Mr. Garcia, they really don't have anything to connect through, which makes it a lot more problematic for them, especially because there's a second child for him to actually give love and focus to, and in a way to mold him into how he wants her to be, which makes it even more problematic. And I just really want to see where they go with that. I just really hope they go somewhere with that, especially because one of the Javi focus episodes is going like specified that he's having problems with his dad, and that's why I've been anticipating it so much.
Yeah,
Okay,
you
I'm
know
done.
what? Hey, Austin, you made a comparison between Ravi and Commander Shaw. And you know what else it reminds me of? It reminds me of Wes and his dad because Wes's dad doesn't support what Wes is doing, and Wes wants to find his own future and follow his own passion. It's kind of similar to this.
Yeah. I will say in the terms of Mr. Collins, though, I can't remember his first name, but I feel like for Mr. Collins, it was definitely a little more problematic on his side because he was more influenced by profit in almost every way possible, except for, well, maybe this too. The only way I didn't see him being influenced by profit was trying to plan a future for Wes. But there's a possibility that even in that there was probably some type of benefit that he would personally get from that. But even
But you're saying
even for them,
Mr.
even what
Collins... Okay, go ahead. Sorry, I thought you were coming to your point.
I'll say for Mr. Collins, he was a little more harder to convince to get through. Like, this might not be the right way to put it, but I feel like he was a little more closed-minded because even after he found out what Wes was doing, he was still more for a while he was still more focused on making money, and he wasn't 100% agreeing with what Wes did. They still weren't seeing eye to eye. But I feel like for
well, let's remind ourselves here that the only reason that he wanted to ensure Wes had a future was so that his company could continue when he's, like, retired. So it's technically still for profit, and that's kind of why Wes got so upset.
Yep. And that's definitely...
It wasn't out of love for his son, it was concern for his business.
Yep, you're proving my point even more, thank you.
But yeah, no, I don't think we can really compare Warden Garcia's position as a parent in Power Rangers to, like, anything in the past, because, like, what else in the past has Power Rangers done but single parents? Or no, single child parents. We've only had, like, a parent-child relation where there was only, like, really one sibling, one like, child that they focused on. Because, like, the only one that comes closest maybe maybe Captain Mitchell. But even then, Captain Mitchell was, like, not even close to Warden Garcia.
And even then, because of their situations that they were all in, it was much easier for them to be able to connect and have a better relationship between the three of them a lot more.
Mm-hmm. When we talking about Lightspeed Rescue?
Yeah.
I mean, let's be real. Captain Mitchell loved both of his children.
Exactly.
Captain Mitchell.
Yeah, but Captain Mitchell, it was more of a thing that from the jump, he loved both of his kids equally. It's just that one passed away, and he had to like grieve for his son, and he had to like love his daughter and overprotect her like uncontrollably because he lost a kid. So it's not like he was choosing his daughter over his son. It was just that his son was hypothetically no longer with him. You know what I'm saying? But
his daughter was all he had at the time.
Yeah, that's all he had. But with Garcia, it's more of a thing that we've never seen before with parents. Is like
we've never seen
choosing favorites, basically.
Yeah, we've never seen a parent in Power Rangers actively have a favorite child. And we've never seen we've seen strained child-parent relationship before, but we've never seen it where it comes at the expense of, like,
Mm-hmm.
I could almost see, like, Javi and Izzy getting to a fight where Javi, like, takes out his frustration with his dad onto Izzy. Because she is the favorite,
Ooh.
which is very easy for actual siblings
Oh,
to do if they're, like,
that would break my heart, honestly.
if their
Like,
if their parents were, like, toxic and chose a favorite child, it's very easy for siblings to do
And
that.
it'll probably make it harder for us as viewers because, as you can see, she's worried about him 24/7, and she's very
yeah,
aware
I would,
of
yeah, I would,
bad situation where, knowing that she's the adopted one in the family, but she doesn't get along with his actual son, and that's on the back of her head 24/7 because it's like she's like very vocal even without even knowing that the Rangers were Rangers. She was talking about how they don't really get along, and it was like, and that's I mean, yeah, it's gonna hurt. Yeah, it's
yeah. I will say this: it does seem it does seem a little. Well, personally, it's a little hard to see the possibility of Javi like lashing out on Izzy like that. Now, I'm not saying it's not. I'm not saying it's impossible because it's definitely not impossible. But I feel like they're too. From what I've seen so far, it feels like they're too supportive of each other for them to like lash out on each other like that. If there's a problem, if there's a problem like that.
yeah.
Now,
I don't think
granted,
it'll happen.
I will say they might like, I guess, argue about it a little or something like that.
I'm not necessarily
But I feel
saying that, like,
but at
Izzy
the very,
would lash out too. I think it's just that Javi would get so frustrated with his dad, because obviously,
yeah, that's what I'm
like,
saying.
I think at some point,
Yeah,
Javi's
that's what
gonna
I'm saying.
start wanting approval of his dad, and then he's gonna, like, it's gonna build to a point where, like, Garcia, like, Warden Garcia is not gonna give it to him, and Javi's gonna get so frustrated, and eventually he's gonna, like, lash out at the one person who constantly gets his dad's approval, which is Izzy.
Yeah,
and I feel like that's just
what
gonna be inevitable.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I'm trying. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm saying
Yeah.
I don't necessarily see it. I don't necessarily see Javi lashing out on Izzy like that because one, Javi seems like too cool-headed, I guess, and plus they're like very supportive of each other. So I don't really see them lashing out on each other, but I can see like maybe at the very least an argument, but definitely I could definitely see like Javi like venting to her about that,
and
and
it's like,
it might get to the point where
His dad sucks, though.
it might get to the point where he vents out so much that she starts becoming more like hyper aware on what's going on, and she starts to feel guilty about it, even though it's not her fault.
and an important thing about that too is that, like, there could possibly be a tension with it because no doubt about it. There's gonna have to be an episode where Javi complains about how either there's clearly being favorites being thrown around,
I
or
think that's the
that,
next episode, actually.
I don't know, or it has to do with I'm not enough for you, basically, something like that.
Yeah.
Because, and at the end of the day, if it does involve Izzy, he's gonna hurt us because not only does Izzy herself know that there's favorites going on because although she's still like has in back of her head anxious all the time to try to make sure she makes him proud because, like she said, she was surprised that he forgave her, and I'm like, so technically you have a stable relationship with your dad, but you still always have that tension, like you gotta make him proud, and it's probably she's probably forced herself to do that because she sees of how bad it gotten with her brother. So that's why she feels like she has to like push in a way, but not at the sake of Javi. You know what I'm saying? In a way, it's just that that she feels like the tension and the being told like to meet these expectations, because she was like, if I don't meet these expectations, dad might not like me, just like the way but it's nothing personal against Javi, but it's just gonna hurt because as we know that she's aware of Javi's bad relationship with his dad. I don't know, bro. I really want to see what they do because it's like they could go so many ways with it. It could be because because Izzy's relationship, as you can see, it's not a glass. It's not a glass in water. You know what I'm saying? It's not pure water. There's some things in there. You know what I'm saying? But But I
Yeah.
don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see what they do with it because
Yeah, and
yeah.
admittedly, considering like even though we're really like going into so much detail about it, considering how we've seen their relationships in general, it like this is just a side note. It wouldn't be like it wouldn't seem like it's out of no. It wouldn't seem like it was like rushed or anything, or like just an unnecessary overnight thing if things were patched up by like the end of the episode. Because even though we are getting into a lot of detail about it, it's not to the point where things will like be so problematic that it would take that realistically it would take 2 seasons to patch things up and stuff. Like it seems like it would just take one episode for everyone to be on the same page and then everyone to like actually get closer and accepting of each other. Especially because like in this episode we saw that Izzy can be a fast learner when it comes to learning about like important things in life.
I mean, I'm not.
And for
I
all
wouldn't
we
be
and for
mad.
all we yeah, and for all we know, Javi's probably just as fast of a learner.
But I don't necessarily think it's just it's Hobby that needs to do the learning. I think it's
Yeah,
Warden.
it's definitely
It's
the
definitely
warden.
the
He's the
Warden.
main
Yeah.
one.
And I'm not gonna lie, I wouldn't even be mad if it's a thing that ends off at the end of the season. You know what I'm saying? If it's an ongoing
Oh,
thing.
definitely not me either. But I was saying like since
At least
Power
like
Rangers tends to
talk
since
about it.
Power Rangers, but yeah, but I don't think I worded this correctly. Like my point mainly is like since Power Rangers lately tends to wrap everything up in one little bow after just one episode as opposed to like multiple episodes, it would make sense in this case considering the fact that it's not a completely damaged relationship or a completely challenging relationship like Wes and his dad.
I
Does
mean,
that make sense?
yeah, but I mean, I hope it gets to that point because Officer Warden didn't, like we said last episode, Officer Warden didn't even go look for his son. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't think they didn't they
And
weren't really
he
together in this episode either, were they?
yeah, and they weren't. He was just there. You know, like even when freaking Officer I mean not Officer, I keep calling Officer Warden Garcia, Izzy, and the cousin were talking to each other. Javi wasn't even in the scene. He popped up in last second.
Yeah.
When you think of it, so yeah, that makes even more sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know because Izzy loves her brother. Izzy know that their dad can get tough and she knows that he's really tough on her, and she's like, I might be repeating, but it's like, and that she knows that he has these high expectations and that it's just Javi had enough, but she's still like hanging on in a sense, but it's like for maybe it's in a way for like Javi's sake because she's like, I know I don't know what, like, I don't know, it's just, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but it's just like I don't know. I just really want it to be more than we're saying it is. You know what I'm saying? I want it to be like you said, like Wes and his dad about it's an ongoing thing. It's like, I'm not enough for you, because like Izzy said, Izzy said
I want there
that,
to be detail.
yeah, because Izzy said Javi goes into the forest when they're in arguments. That's like some rebellion ass shit. That sounds like that could really be a cool ass story. And he's like, I don't know where Javi is, because he's like, I don't know where he is. Like, and Izzy knows automatically, meaning that because Warden Garcia was like, he does this all the time. He always disappears. Blah 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 say. But Izzy always knows where he is, so it could be a thing that's like I'm gonna just call him Officer Garcia because I keep fucking butchering Officer Warden. But Officer Garcia, it's like he just in a way giving up on him, you know? And it's like Izzy's like, I know, you're my brother, blah blah blah, but it's like he's, I don't know how to say it. It's one of those situations is where it's like you have a sibling and that sibling is clearly being favorited, but that sibling still loves you with all their heart, but it's like they still want to like make their dad proud in a way. And then I'm not saying that Javi's gonna get to a point where he's like, um, you do this to suck up to dad, because I don't think there's gonna be a point that he does that, because like you said, like they move in sync, they love each other dearly, they're always looking out for each other, they tell each other secrets,
Yeah.
because Izzy's the only one who knows his hiding spot. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I want to see how that plays out, and it could really be interesting what they do with it, because it's like it's not a red and blue situation. It's like it's gonna be different. It's gonna be really different. You know? Anyone else got anything to say?
I think that was everybody.
I think we've pretty much touched up on everything. So, unfortunately, Jay had to leave for last second emergencies, but I am here to wrap this all up. So, to those remaining in the call, let's see. Final thoughts on Dino Fury episode 5, Winning Attitude. Let's start with Dekka and Frankie. Final thoughts?
Final thoughts, it was pretty good. Great representation, great moral, greatly delivered. The J-Borg scenes weren't too irritating. Overall, solid episode. 5 out of 5.
Honestly, love the episode, love the inclusivity, love the message, love the characters, love the fights, and love the show. 5 out of 5.
Alright, Blackwing, Austin, any final thoughts on this episode?
Loved the episode. It was great, and I'll be honest, I actually want to hear Jay Borg and Amelia's boss, Jane. I actually want to hear them do another duet. They sound good together. But everyone, this episode was great. I loved it. 5 out of 5. 5 for 5 for Dino Fury for sure.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that myself. I'm one of the few that can easily tolerate Jane and Jay Borg more than most people, just because I'm used to training through all of that. But for the most part, they're easily tolerable, and they were pretty enjoyable in this episode too. I don't know if anyone noticed, but I'll say it. I don't know if anybody noticed, but their situation that they were doing with warning people about the monsters stuff, and then Jay Borg coming in with a really bad monster suit. It's pretty parallel to the same thing Bulk and Skull did in Turbo, I think, when they were doing a tour and then Skull came out with the monster and stuff. But anyways, good episode. Really good, really wholesome, good episode. Definitely looking forward to more. Definitely 5 for 5. It was coolio.
Okay. Chris, any final thoughts?
Shoot. Yeah, it was a great episode. I love the representation. We got an Olympic shit. We got an Olympic. That's just saying it on Power Rangers shit. We got an Olympic on Power Rangers. We had the Focus episode. It really did really good in my eyes, and as I can see in the community, they loved it as well. Austin over here giving me ideas of some fucking war between a son and a father. I'm over here speculating as if it's 100% possible or certain that that's gonna happen. I don't know. I'm just rambling of ideas because this show's that's how good the show is so far. It's giving me all these ideas of things it could go to. You know what I'm saying? And it's the acting was great. The use of the real soldier footage was great. Everything was great about this episode. Shit. Even Simon, even something I forgot to mention. There was a little editing mistake that happened in the show. Somebody talked about it. Simon went straight for his head. He was like, "Man, I'm sorry. That was clearly a mistake." You know what I'm saying? And we don't really be having the people. We don't even be having people of high budget shows doing that. You know what I'm saying? Really, really high budget shows coming to the community, going out of their way and explaining if there's something that went wrong. You know what I'm saying? Just props
and
up
even
for
then,
everyone.
it's a small editing mistake when people are editing long shows, even 30 minutes, even 20 minutes of a television show. That's still a lot to edit together because you have to take cuts.
Yeah, and really,
and even then, that's
do
probably
take
just
a lot
stock
of unnecessary
footage.
stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Even then, that's
it is
stock footage. Why would you want to reshoot all that?
Yeah, showing it
or
shooting an angel like that. Shooting an angle like that doesn't really need that much reshooting and stuff like that. And like I said, Power Ranger fans do tend to nitpick at some things that are necessary in nitpicking.
I know.
I know, like that, but like
Too
the
many
tweet that I
things.
saw, was just like, oh, I know, is this editing mistake? Like I think it was Jay's tweet. It was like,
Yeah.
it was like, editing mistake, and I'm like, yeah, but that's to be expected when you're, running a show like this. That's as long,
But
and you have to crunch it out like this.
It wasn't even
But hey,
like
you can
somebody.
it
wasn't even.
And it was like a fucking flash. Like, I noticed
Yeah.
it my first time because I myself am a video editor, so like, I noticed it. But like,
I
I didn't
didn't
say
like-
anything.
It wasn't even like
I didn't even notice it until someone like tweeted it like a
Yeah,
few hours
exactly.
ago.
Exactly. And
Me
then I
too.
watched
I
it.
didn't notice it either.
And then I watched it. And then I watched it and I still didn't realize it. It was just somebody who caught something, and it wasn't even like the person who posted about it was trying to like talk shit about it. It was just, this is kind of funny. And then Simon went out of his way, knowing that it wasn't even like the fans were mad at it. He was just like, sorry, although like I know that you guys aren't too mad about it. It's just sorry for like the mistake. It was genuine. It wasn't like we were trying to be lazy. It was just a mistake. And everyone was like, yeah, thanks, man. Like, it's cool that you're even going out of your way to explain those little things. So it's not even that big of a deal, and you're going out of your way, and it's just great. And
That truly is great.
Man, if you're mad about something like that, you need to chill. If you're mad about something like
regardless,
that,
man. Regardless, this show's great. Everything's going great. Being a Power Ranger fan is great. It's
right.
It's a great time to be a Toku fan. Just to be real.
Yeah,
Toku
Toku fans like this year are getting fed so well. We have got Dino Fury being a great American adaptation. We've got Zenkaiger already showing up to be a good Sentai. We got Saber's
Saber
getting
improving.
better.
Yep.
Saber's getting better. And then we've got all the movies that we've yet to see. Like we got the new Zenkai Red. The Zenkai Red specials for Zenkaiger. We have the movie that's coming out. We have Kira Major versus Ryu Soldier. We have
Zero One
Ranger subs coming very soon.
None of this is even touching the fact that the juggernaut of Tokusatsu, Ultraman itself, is celebrating its 55th anniversary. That's a whole conversation on its own.
Ultraman celebrating 55th, Sentai celebrating 45, Kamen Rider celebrating 50. And speaking of, we got 3 of the 90s Kamen Rider movies available to watch on YouTube. All 3 of them.
All 3 90s Rider movies.
Wow. It's a great year to be a Toku fan.
I saw those and I didn't recognize them.
We eating good.
The best thing about getting Tokusatsu legally is when you can delete those files you downloaded.
And we can eat for free.
And we're not even speaking on anime Tokusatsu wise, because we got Gridman making a comeback with season 2, the anime.
We're still waiting on season 2 of that Ultraman anime.
Isn't that on Toonami now?
Yes, it is.
Oh, that's right.
And then we got fucking shout out to the Precure fans, because I know they still running and going crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like they doing their
fans are apparently going fucking insane. I've seen so many posts about it.
Oh yeah, it's just so wholesome. Like everyone's being fed. Although we still preaching for y'all UK fans out there. We gonna make sure y'all get fed soon as well. We just gotta take the steps. You know what I'm saying? But it's
baby steps.
Nevertheless, it's just great to be a Toku fan. Regardless, Japan is showing us love. They're doing whatever they can. And they're doing it during the anniversary season. It's gonna be great time.
It's good.
I with Dino Fury, so is America.
Woo! Yes, sir.
So anyway, Tanara, you want to take us home?
Yeah. So thank you so much for watching the TimeForToku podcast. If you like this video, please go ahead and leave a like. Maybe give a comment. What were your thoughts on Power Rangers Dino Fury Episode 5? We would love to hear about your opinions on it. Whether you think Dino Fury is another great season, like we all think, or is just, it's okay. Whatever opinions you may have, go ahead and leave them in the comments below, because we love to read them. And of course, if you like this content, go ahead and subscribe for more Toku content in the future.
Anybody want to add anything?
Nope.
No, yeah, I think this is it. Our thoughts out.
Well, this has been Time for Toku podcast, and once again we have Chelsea.
Thank you for tuning in, y'all, and stay coolio.
We got Awesome.
Alright, thanks for watching us. You can find me at Twitter at _ Mr. Awesome _ and remember, keep on morphing.
And we had Rocky, but he had to dip out.
Yeah,
Right.
so you can follow me at Blackwing2040 on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Blackwing2040, and also find me on Twitch at Blackwing2040.
I would suggest going to see Blackwing streams because they are chill fucking places.
Pretty much.
Frankie, you want to give that little send off?
Yep, you guys can find me on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram by my name, Frankie Joaquin.
Deco, want to give us a send off for you?
Sure thing. You can find me on Twitter at BackupBlazing, and you can find me on Instagram at DecaBlaze. There I share my art. And you can also find me on YouTube at Dungeon DecaBlaze. There I share AMVs and speed draws of my art.
All right, Austin.
All right, you can find me on my dry YouTube channel, One Man Sentai, and you can also find me on Instagram as Omni Ranger, and you can find me on Twitter as Austin Jones 6. Be sure to be on the lookout because I might be uploading something pretty soon, and it's going to be a little relevant to one of the things that we had talked about in these last 10 minutes. And just remember, while life can be coolio, and while you have your limits are meant to be broken.
Limit to break.
Right, Chris, a little send off for you?
Well, fuck you, Austin, because I am unbreakable. Call Mr. Glass. Well.
Oh, so we just passing up the Ryu Soldier reference, huh?
Yes, we are. But yeah, you can find me on all my social medias. You can find me at Chris26Deus. That's Chris with 2 S's. Chris26 DUES. That's Chris Deus. You know who it is. You know where to find me.
And if you're watching me, thank you so much for watching. My name is Tanara-kun. You can find me on Twitter with my handle, Tanara, capital N. And you can find me on Twitch at Tanara-kun. I'll be streaming. I stream mostly on the weekends. I'll be trying to stream on the week, but I stream mostly Power Rangers Battle for the Grid, and I stream Magic the Gathering Arena. Those are my 2 main games, and I interchange them. And I do take viewer battles, so if you are interested in, coming on my stream and showing what you got, we'll be happy to have you.
I'll be able to challenge Tanara to an online match soon since I now have Nintendo Online. So,
fuck, Blackwing, you're gonna get okay.
I know. I mean, I know I'm gonna get my butt kicked because I don't practice as much as you and Chris does. Because
Right, just saying. Chris and I are pretty. I would say, Chris, you and I are pretty equal in skill right now, right? I'd say you're slightly better than me.
Let's see where it goes. I need to start practicing again. I haven't practiced.
I think you need to start practicing your actual genuine combos.
Hell yeah. I'm gonna get there though.
But yeah, we out here trying to catch sports, not cases. This is Jinsaku. Time for Toku out.